that look like yours, a concert, a neighborhood, a boardroom, a sea of white. Have you ever wondered who isn't there? That empty space, that silence, it's not an accident, it's a choice. It's a wall. That wall has a name: white supremacy. For me, that sea of white isn't just an idea, it's a town where I stood, Franklin, Tennessee. And guess what? There's a ghost story there. Did you know that right after the Civil War, Franklin was on the verge of a new world? Williamson County's population was nearly 50% black. Formerly enslaved people were registering to vote, building churches, starting businesses, demanding a voice, and for a brief, brilliant moment, there was a flicker of hope for a shared future. But that hope was met with terror. Right there in Franklin, Tennessee in 1867 in the town square, a political rally was held with both black and white speakers advocating for black suffrage. White supremacists, furious at the sight of black political power, attacked the rally with guns. It became a bloodbath, a riot designed for one purpose: to send a message to black voices and black votes would be silenced with violence. That day was the beginning of the end. It was the first shot in a long, brutal war of intimidation. The Ku Klux Klan was born right there in Middle Tennessee, and along with the architects of Jim Crow, unleashed a campaign of terror and economic oppression that lasted for decades. So what happened to the 50%? Why did they leave? They were driven out. They were driven out by the Klan's terror in the night. They were driven out by the crushing weight of sharecropping. They were driven out by the legal system that made black life worth less than a white man's rage. They left because they understood that in Franklin, their dream of freedom would be answered with a noose or a bullet. So when I see that sea of white faces in that concert in Franklin, Tennessee, I don't just see a demographic, I see a crime scene. I see the ghost of a community that was systematically and violently erased. That silence isn't peace, it's the evidence of a successful cleansing. Now, I want you to imagine that story. This is the most important part. That exact scenario of hope met with violence taking place in hundreds and thousands of towns all over America. You know what? Because it did exactly that. And that local blueprint for erasure has now gone national. The sickness has a fever. They call it a movement. We need to call it what it is: American fascism. We see it when they ban books to kill our history. We see it when they attack museums for daring to tell the truth about slavery. We see it when ICE raids systematically hunt our brown communities and shatter families. And we see it when the National Guard points its weapons not at foreign enemies, but at us, American citizens. The MAGA Trump regime making retreat into whiteness a national policy. The war for our future is here now. And if you are silent, if you are comfortable in that sea of whiteness, you have been sold a comforting lie, that safety is silence, that comfort is a world without color. But that comfort is an actual poison. The walls you think are protecting you, they're your prison. You're trading your humanity for the myth of supremacy, and you're losing everything that matters. Dismantling white supremacy was never just about liberating people of color. That's what you've never understood, white folks. It's the last chance to liberate yourselves. Because white supremacy is a fucking prison for white people, and it always has been. This is the reckoning. White supremacy isn't a path to the destruction of a nation. It is the destruction of America, happening right now. So wake up, white folks, speak up, and begin the fucking work before it's too late for you.